Imagine, if you will, the ultimate cosmic cold case. We are talking about a mystery so profound, so incredibly puzzling, that it's absolutely baffled the brightest minds in science for almost 50 years. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely unpack one of the most fascinating anomalies in all of astronomy. We're looking at a single, fleeting moment when the universe seemingly spoke right to us and we just happened to have our ears open. Let's dive right into the legendary story of the most famous unexplained radio signal humanity has ever detected. Wow. Just wow. That single thrilling word, hastily scribbled in red ink. I want to drop you right into the sudden, electrifying appearance of this anomaly. For just a split second in the grand, sweeping timeline of the cosmos, something incredibly powerful and totally unusual pierced right through the dead silence of space. It was a signal so baffling, so completely out of left field, that it left an astronomer utterly stunned, leaving behind only this now famous exclamation. So, let's set the scene here. Picture this. It's August 15th, 1977. We are deep in the quiet, undisturbed countryside of Ohio, and sitting out there in this rural silence is the giant Big Ear Radio Observatory. Now, back in the 70s, this massive instrument was basically humanity's ear to the cosmos, used by scientists actively searching for signs of intelligent life out there. They were continuously listening, just routinely scanning the sky, hoping against hope to catch a whisper from deep space. Day in, day out, mostly it was just ordinary cosmic static. Everything seemed perfectly, totally normal on this particular summer night. Until, out of nowhere, it wasn't. Part 1. Anatomy of the Signal. Analyzing the Cosmic Clues. Okay, let's dive right into this because this is where the hard evidence really gets wild. At exactly 11:16 p.m., the telescope picked up an unbelievably strong radio signal that lasted for exactly 72 seconds. Imagine you're scanning the endless random static of space, and then bam, this incredibly tight, narrowband signal hits the receivers. The data showed it wasn't just narrow, it was phenomenally strong. It stood out from the background noise like a massive searchlight suddenly flicking on in a pitch-black room. Now, what's really fascinating here is the frequency itself. This signal showed up right around 1420 megahertz. To most folks, sure, that's just a random spot on a radio dial. But to astronomers, that exact number is basically an interstellar calling card. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why scientists get so incredibly hyped about 1420 megahertz. It's known as the hydrogen line. So why does this matter? Well, the big takeaway here is that hydrogen is, by far, the most abundant element in the entire universe. Scientists have figured for a long time that if an intelligent alien civilization actually wanted to reach out across the galaxy, this specific frequency is the most logical choice. It's like a universal dial tone. Any advanced civilization would recognize it as a standard. So picking up a massive, focused signal right on this exact line, it perfectly, almost eerily, matched exactly what researchers thought an alien ping would look like. Part 2. The Red Pen Moment, 6EQ-UJ5. Fast forward just a few days, astronomer Jerry R. Ehman is sitting down reviewing these totally mundane stacks of computer printouts from the telescope. Just row after row of numbers. But as he's looking through the data, one specific sequence jumps right off the page at him. 6EQ-UJ5. Now, to you and me, that looks like a random Wi-Fi password, right? But to the scientists reading these printouts, these specific characters actually tracked the exact intensity of the radio wave. This sequence literally paints a picture of the signal growing stronger and stronger, hitting an absolute peak and then quietly fading back into the void. Completely shocked by what he was looking at, Eamon grabs a red pen. He circles that entire 6EQJ5 sequence right there on the paper, and right next to it, he scribbles a single massive word in all caps, wow. That visceral, unfiltered, handwritten reaction to the data is exactly how this anomaly got its legendary, world-famous name. For so many people, seeing this incredibly potent, almost artificial-looking signal right on a designated interstellar frequency, it raised an absolutely monumental question. Had humanity literally just received its very first text message from an alien world? Part 3. The mystery deepens. The dead end. But guys, here is where our story takes a really sharp, frankly heartbreaking turn. See, there was one massive, glaring problem with the WOW signal. It never happened again. In 1977, they catch the signal. Immediately, scientists scrambled to point their instruments back at that exact same patch of sky. They searched, and they searched again. Nothing. By the 1980s, still nothing. All through the 90s, nothing. Right up to today, that spot in space remains totally, maddeningly silent. Dozens of observatories have stared at that exact area for decades, and the WOW signal hasn't shown up a second time, not even once. And that right there is exactly what took this from the discovery of a lifetime to a truly frustrating, seemingly unsolvable cosmic puzzle.
Part 4. The Suspects. 4 Leading Theories.
So, stepping away from the hard data and into the realm of scientific speculation, let's line up the main suspects in our cosmic cold case. Over the last half-century, researchers have relentlessly debated 4 major hypotheses to explain what on Earth or off Earth happened that night in Ohio. The prime suspects are an intentional alien transmission, a passing comet, some sort of unknown natural phenomenon, or human-made interference. Let's break down exactly where these stand today. So, the crucial point is, we've got 4 distinct possibilities here, but absolutely 0 definitive answers. The alien transmission theory? Well, it checks every single box for what artificial communication should look like, but without catching it a second time, it's just an unproven hypothesis. Okay, what about a comet? Back in 2016, some folks proposed that the hydrogen clouds around a passing comet could have caused spike. But honestly, a lot of astronomers are highly skeptical of that, so the debate is still raging. Then there's the natural phenomenon angle. It's totally possible this was just a bizarre, incredibly rare cosmic event that we just don't understand yet. I mean, we're discovering new things about the universe every day. And lastly, human interference. Could it have been a rogue military signal or a satellite bouncing waves back at us? Extensive investigations turned over every stone and completely failed to find any Earth-based source that fits the bill. None of these suspects give us a closed case. Part 5. An unsolved cosmic mystery half a century later. It's wild to think that nearly 50 years have passed since that old computer spat out that printout in Ohio. Technology has skyrocketed since then. Our modern telescopes are massively more powerful, far more sensitive than anything we had in 1977. We are literally listening to the universe every single day, and yet the source of the WOW signal remains a complete unknown. There's no confirmed explanation, no repeated detection. Nobody can confidently say what swept over our planet that night. So here's the ultimate question I want to pose directly to you. Was the WOW signal humanity's very first contact with an alien civilization? Was it just an incredibly rare natural event we haven't figured out yet? Or was it something else entirely? The truth is, we really might never know. But one thing is absolutely certain for sure. This is still one of the greatest mysteries in the history of astronomy. It's a humbling reminder that the universe is far stranger and, honestly, perhaps far more crowded than we can even begin to imagine. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, the source of the WOW signal may still exist, waiting to be discovered. And until we finally crack the code, the mystery lives on.